Welcome to Glue for Glory! Alright, here we go. I'm going to paint our second ever Space Marine. I did pick up a couple game color, some white and gold paint to give a little more flair than what I had the last time. I'm going to start with our base coat of the mid-tone green. And we're going to apply some AK1 effects so that we can do some chipping. Here I've come back with a dark camo green. I'm just kind of going to spray randomly all over this model. There's Sadie. She'd sure like a like. It'd help our channel out a lot if you don't mind. Alright, we got some camo brown. We're just going to throw some light splotches on here and there. Again, this is over an AK chipping fluid, and you'll see why here in just a moment. There we go. Alright, it's just some water and a stiff brush. And what I'm doing now is I'm wearing away the brown and the other dark green camo so I can create a camo effect. Let's take a look and see what we have. I didn't like it, so we're going to scratch some of the surface with a toothpick, get some of the worn effects that we're looking for, and we'll just keep layering up on top of that. And there's our guy, and you can see the splotches of green. Some of the brown spots are a little more difficult to see. The high resolution images will show up. Now I'm going to create some battle damage on this pauldron. There's Ben's. Why don't you leave us a comment and let me know what you think so far. Creating this battle damage on the pauldron because in my mind the Space Marine slams into walls and blasts through doors, right? So basically knocking them down with this power armor. Alright, these are the golds that I picked up, so I'm going to paint the feathers, wings, parts of his chest plate with the dark rich gold, and then the skull with a little lighter color of gold here. That is a dark marine blue for US Air Force, but it actually, I think it's going to look pretty good for the guns. And obviously we're going to do some weathering and whatnot. This is just our base coat for the gun. And we'll go ahead and paint the emblem on there with some gold, bright gold. Hey, if you don't mind, why don't you do Mr. Newton there a favor and throw us a subscribe. You can always unsubscribe later, but I tell you what, it would do a bunch of help to me to help my channel grow. I plan on painting quite a few more of these Space Marines and vehicles and whatnot, and take my traditional model building skills and apply them, so you might get to see some new techniques from somebody that's been building a different type of models for a while, and dioramas and whatnot. So, and I'd actually taken quite a bit of a break from building models, but got back into it for the last year and kind of rekindled all of that. And then a friend of mine said, "Oh, you should paint Space Marines." So here we are. All right, so we're slathering on a bunch of weathered effects and just coming back and we're cleaning that off. So alter between the water, so wash off, and the paper towel to dry, create that kind of battle grime. So when you take that in combination with the dark camo green, the battle grime, and the browns, we get some pretty cool effects. Lots of contrast with the green. Gives it a very worn metallic look. That's why I do that. Of course, we painted the mask gold. We're going to paint the cross red, and I'm also going to paint his eyes red. Here we're going to do some dry brushing, and so for that I'm using real steel for my color, and just making sure that I've got that gun looking nice and steel-like. Hey, there's Ben's again. Why don't you leave us a comment and tell us what you think. Alright, we're applying a dry brush across the entire model surface now, just highlighting the edges. I want to make sure that power pack or whatever it is on his back, the jet pack, excuse me, I know what it is nice and bright looking. And after we coated the whole model with a matte finish, I want to come back and give some glossy areas. So here's the final product. Do leave us a like and a comment. We really appreciate that. Really help our channel grow. Hope you like my content. I think I'm doing pretty good for this being my second Space Marine. So let me know if you disagree. Let me know other tips and tricks of other people maybe I should take a look at. But I like the way the backpack turned out, and the rest of the guy as well. So thanks so much for watching.
Glue for glory!